I think the reason why she's calling him Epstein instead of Jeffrey, even though they dated for like 3 decades, is because she's actively trying to distance herself from him and knowing full well that these tapes are eventually going to be released.
Is obtaining some audio from Ghislaine Maxwell's recent interview with the feds about Jeffrey Epstein. Maxwell says she was never aware of a so-called client list. Maxwell is thought to have the most direct knowledge of Epstein's decades-long sex. Here's an excerpt from that interview, which happened over 2 days last month.
You never saw any sort of list or black book or a list of individuals who, linked to certain masseuses or
Absolutely
anything
no.
like that?
Absolutely no. There is no list. There is no, I'm not aware of any blackmail. I never heard that, I never saw it, and I never imagined it.
Maxwell said that she never witnessed or heard of any inappropriate or criminal activity by President Trump, former President Bill Clinton, or any of the well-known men who associated with Epstein.
And so for the folks we just talked about, so former Secretary of State John Kerry, Ted Kennedy, you don't know whether Mr. Epstein knew him, so I take that to mean you have no recollection of them flying on his planes or visiting him. Okay.
But Bobby Kennedy knew him. Bobby, the health.
Sorry, say that again about Bobby Kennedy.
Bobby knew Mr. Epstein.
Bobby!
How do you know that?
Damn, convicted is crazy. I thought she was innocent. What's going on? This is weird.
Because we went on a trip together. We went to dinosaur bone hunting in the Dakotas.
So now moving back to the 2000s, there come a time when Mr. Epstein met Prince Andrew?
Yes.
And others in the royal family, or just Prince Andrew as far as you know?
Well, so as much as I can piece it together, first of all, let's just state, I did not introduce him to Prince Andrew. I did not introduce him to Prince Andrew or to Sarah Ferguson. That is a flat untruth. I'll start with that. So now I'm going to tell you how he did actually meet him. So if you find me that photograph, I can date that time when he met Princess Diana at that event. And based on that, I'll be able to tell you if it's pre or post that event, because I haven't looked it up. And
Why is she being treated like a victim? Why is her word relied on? Because her word is exonerating Donald Trump. That's why. She's playing a very important role here. How do you hunt a dinosaur bone? Those are like super dead. Bro, what do you mean to eat? It's RFK Jr. we're talking about. He was trying to chomp on a fossil, baby. He's like, exotic meats. I've had all kinds of roadkill, but never a dinosaur bone.
I've never bothered to check. So Lynn Forrester, who was a client or some type of client, or I think she actually tried to date him, or might have dated him for the record. She was in, do you want to ask me something?
No, go ahead.
Okay, she had a house, or she rented a house in the Vineyard. I think it was in the Vineyard or Nantucket. I can't remember now which one it was. It was one of those. It's either Nantucket or the Vineyard. And invited Epstein to go. And I believe that's when he met Prince Andrew. However, I believe that before that event, he had gone to the Bahamas and had hung out with Sarah Ferguson. And Sarah had called Epstein and had arranged with Lynn, or I don't know. I don't know now, I'm speculating. Anyway, long and short, he met Andrew up there.
And I'm not holding you to an exact date, but when
Well, we can
approximately
date
was
it
that?
from that picture, if you find me the picture.
But do you know, without looking at a photo, in your mind, approximately when was that?
I want to say it was the 2000, no, probably 2001, 2002.
Early 2000s.
Yes.
And I think it was...
I think the reason why she's calling him Epstein instead of Jeffrey, even though they dated for like 3 decades, is because she's actively trying to distance herself from him and knowing full well that these tapes are eventually going to be released. That's it. But, I mean, who the believes that, you know?
Actually, Prince Andrew himself who suggested that he met Jeffrey Epstein through you.
I think that's true. So, well...
It's true that Andrew said that.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's true. because I'm English, and my close friends are all close friends with Sarah and Andrew, and I would not say that I was close friends with Andrew before, but certainly we were friendly, and certainly his best friends, some of them were very, very close with me. And I think that my friendship, me being present, or me, is what made Andrew like Jeffrey more, trust him, or I think that's maybe it.
So you don't dispute that that you kind of had a role in getting together. You're just saying you didn't say, Prince,
I would never
Jeffrey.
have introduced them. It would never have occurred to me to introduce them. I couldn't imagine them being friends. Two chalk and cheeses would never, I mean, for real, there's nothing there to connect them. So he met Prince Andrew, and then he had a relationship. I don't like that word. It sounds funky. They had a
Acquaintanceship.
Thank you. And through Sarah, actually. I think Sarah is the one that pushed that. And they met and hung out, I want to say 2 or 3 times. That had nothing to do with me. I wasn't communicating with Andrew. I wasn't in touch with him. And I know this because I was annoyed.
Your Justice Department is also sending some of the Epstein files over to the House Oversight Committee today. Are you in support of them releasing all of them?
Keeping it open.
Yeah. I talked to Todd. Todd's a wonderful guy. Best deputy attorney general you'll ever find. Best lawyer. Todd told me, Ghislaine said many truths, said I was a nice guy. Take this file at her word. I am a nice guy. This file says I'm nice, which means I'm nice. Believe me. Very cordial with woman. She's, that's what it is, right? Hey, this said, told me that he would have never invaded Ukraine and did war crimes if I was president. And this said I was very nice and very cordial and a gentleman. That's 2 for 2 for Trump this past week, dude. Well, I'm convinced now. What's next? Benjamin Netanyahu, very good guy. Also another guy there, said, I love the Palestinians. That's what he said. He said, I'm the biggest fan of Palestinians. You can't say I'm against Palestinians. Destiny, he's a streamer, not a big fan of mine, not a good guy. Said, I've never done anything inappropriate with minors. He would know. He would know. This guy, he lives in Florida. Can you believe it? He's got a very patriotic son. I wish him well. He's just making new voters for me every day of the week. Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
If they wanted to release,
people shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be. People, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them, because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax. So we had the greatest 6 months, 7 months in the history of the presidency, and the Democrats don't know what to do, so they keep bringing up that stuff. But it affected them. Bill Clinton was on his plane and went to the island supposedly 28 times. I don't want to bring that up, frankly. You have Larry, whatever his name is, Summers, the head of Harvard, who was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. Nobody ever talks about that. I mean, but I don't want to hurt Larry Summers, but he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. No, this is a Democratic hoax to try and get the significance of what we've done over the past 7 months. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They say it's #1 in history. What we've done, including stopping 7 wars. I mean, just include that. And now you look at the stock market today, it's way up to start off with from where I took it. And this market was going to crash. If Joe Biden or Kamala were president, this market, we would have had a crash like in 1929. You're not going to have that. It's only a question of how high is it going to go. You know, I had the strongest.
It's 10 wars. From 6 to 7 wars? Nah, it's 10 now. You don't believe me? It's so much more. It's so much more. It's like 10, maybe 11 wars. Up. The number of wars I've stopped has gone up. The number of wars I've stopped has gone up to 11.
economy in the history of our country. And despite COVID, we had the strongest economy in the history of our country. And we're going to blow it away this time. I was always good at making a lot of money. And whether it was for myself or whether it was, I like doing it this
Oh, he's making a lot of money for himself. $3.6 billion in overall net worth increase for Donald Trump and his family since the beginning of this presidency, by the way. In the last 8 months, this made $3.6 billion extra dollars, bro. He's so good. He is the GOAT. He is clearly the GOAT. I mean, he is the GOAT at making money. And I got a nice plane. I got a nice plane.
way better. I mean, I like making it for the country. Our country's been ripped off by friend and foe, nations all over the world ripped off. And the friends have been much worse than the foes for the most part. And they're not ripping us off. We just signed a deal with the European Union. They're paying us essentially $950 billion, like a signing fee. They're going to buy $750 billion worth of energy. They weren't buying much of our energy there. And they're very smart in doing it. And as you know, Ursula was here a couple of days ago having to do with the people, the leaders that we had a great, people said they've never seen anything like it. Well, we had the leaders of Europe right here in the Oval Office. And she's so happy that she has an agreement. But people aren't ripping us anymore. We're run by, this country is run by smart